went down that race is that while Nikki Hamlin, who's from New Zealand, was running, she came up behind another runner and clicked her shin on that person's cleats and stumbled a little bit, and that made Abby run up on the back of her. They both tripped and fell over, and as Abby started to get up and catch with the pack, because Abby is no just vague participant in this race. She's a 7-time NCAA champ, the most decorated Ivy League runner in the history of Dartmouth. She won NCAA cross-country events. She won some indoor events and 6 other outdoor events. This woman could run and had a chance to compete for a medal, and all of a sudden, her Olympic dreams were dashed. And as she rolled over Nikki and she started to get up, she turned back and she said, she saw that person down. She goes, "Let's go, get up. This is the Olympics. We can't quit." Helped her up. And then as she started to run, after about 10 steps, she realized she wasn't gonna be able to run very far at all. In fact, had torn a meniscus and also ruptured her ACL. She had a mile to go in the race. Nikki had taken off and then looked back and saw the girl that had helped her up, unable to run. And she went back and helped her, and she ran, Abby did, the last mile with a torn ACL. After the Olympics, they were awarded a medal that only 17 other athletes, only one other American ever received. It's the Pierre de Coubertin Medal of extreme sportsmanship. And it's given to athletes who embody the spirit of the games and great sportsmanship, and they were celebrated. Abby was actually thrown on TV the next day. Both girls were advanced to the finals. Abby obviously did not start. Nikki finished way down because of some stuff that was going on with her. But Abby was interviewed by Matt Lauer on NBC, and this is what Matt Lauer said to her, quote, "I think most people's instinct in that moment when colliding with another runner would be to get up and get back in the race. And Abby, it's weird, it seemed your instinct was to turn around and lend a helping hand. Where does that come from?" Okay, let me just tell you something. We don't know anything about Abby yet, but that's the question that we want people to ask us. We ought to live our lives and be a people that live in such a way that when we're done living that way, they go, "Hey, it's the craziest thing I've ever seen. The way you love each other, the way you reconcile, the way you work through conflict, the way you use your resources to bless other people. Where does that come from?" That's the question we ought to get. The way you guys are married for 5 decades, the way you raise your kids, the way your teenagers love to be with you, the way you gather with joy and gladness and sincerity, where does that come from? 1 Peter 3:15. Sanctify Christ as Lord in your hearts. All that means is become more like Jesus. And then it says, always be ready to make a defense whenever Matt Lauer asks you, where does that come from?